Well, ladies and gentlemen, in the last race, Ferrari won the Italian Grand Prix despite not having the fastest car. McLaren were the clear favourites after securing a front row lockout in qualifying, but had to settle for second and third on Sunday. A lot unfolded during the race, making it a hot topic for everyone. McLaren lost the win due to indecisive and poor strategy, but fans and F1 pundits are criticising them for another reason. Let me explain what has caused all the drama that's been blown out of proportion. At the start of the race, Lando Norris had a brilliant launch from pole position, which was quite uncharacteristic of him. George Russell locked his brakes, went straight and hit the polystyrene bollard while attempting the slalom, a mistake he allegedly also made in his first driving test. While Lando was leading, Oscar Piastri got a great drive out of turn 2, and with the slipstream closed in on Lando approaching turn 4. Lando, defending on the inside, braked slightly early, allowing Oscar to brake later and pass him around the outside. This also impacted Lando's momentum, enabling Leclerc to overtake him as well. After the first round of pit stops, Lando undercut Charles and was told on the radio that he was free to fight Oscar for the win under Papaya Rules. And this is where the internet broke. Essentially, Papaya Rules mean that when battling your teammate, you must give each other space and keep it clean. This makes sense because fighting irresponsibly on track could result in the team losing a lot of points. The issue most people have with this Papaya situation is that they think McLaren should prioritise Lando, as he's second in the championship and has a better chance of challenging Max for the title. According to them, McLaren should not have allowed Oscar to pull off the move he did on Lando at the first corner in Monza. Or they should have swapped positions at the end to give Lando 3 extra points. As someone who's been a fan of the sport for a long time, I find it hilarious that people expect the team to do something like that. Firstly, I'd like to say that the move around the outside was incredible. Lando shouldn't have let that happen. He had the inside line. I understand he was trying to be cautious and give Oscar space, but he can't let that happen when he's leading the race. As for Oscar, I have nothing but praise for that move. You've got to have a lot of confidence to pull off something like that, especially against your teammate on lap 1 while they're leading. Now, coming back to the question, why do Papaya Rules actually make sense? From a sporting perspective, Papaya Rules are quite fair. They give both drivers equal opportunities to fight for wins and podiums, with no favoritism towards a particular driver. I respect McLaren for that. They treat Oscar the same as Lando, even though Lando has been with the team much longer and is their lead driver in the standings. And rightfully so, Oscar is an incredibly talented driver. He won back-to-back Formula 3 and Formula 2 championships as a rookie, and last year he secured a sprint win in his first season of F1. Another thing to mention is that people are misunderstanding Oscar's position in the championship and expecting him to play a support role for the team's lead driver, as we've seen with champion teams like Red Bull and Mercedes in previous years. Oscar is only 44 points behind Lando and is still very much in contention for the championship. You cannot force a driver of Oscar's caliber to play second fiddle to Lando, as he's much more than that. Additionally, Mark Webber, who manages Oscar, knows all too well the struggles of being the second driver in an F1 team. No one can forget the Multi-21 controversy. So, he likely ensured that Oscar's contract includes a clause for equal driver status, which makes perfect sense for a driver of his ability. McLaren themselves admit they have 2 number 1 drivers, meaning both get equal opportunities. Now, with 2 number 1 drivers, McLaren is in a much stronger position compared to the standings leader, Red Bull, and can stop worrying since both their drivers are bringing home strong points every weekend. I fully expect them to beat Red Bull in the constructors' standings by the end of the season if they continue to have the superior car in the remaining races. The Drivers' Championship, on the other hand, is a more complicated affair. Lando is currently 62 points behind Max in the standings, and while he's closing the gap each weekend, thanks to Red Bull's struggles, it's not going to be enough at his current pace. Here's the important part. While it's true that with help from Oscar, Lando could reduce the gap to Max and pose a serious threat, the question remains, if Lando needs that much help from his teammate to win the championship, does he truly deserve the title? Yes, Lando has a better shot at the championship given his points advantage over Oscar, but is it really worth sacrificing Oscar's hard work and podiums? If Oscar overtakes Lando on track, would it be fair to hand the win to Lando just so he can catch up to Max in the championship? I don't think that would be fair. The key difference with other teams' second drivers is that they were much slower than their teammates and out of title contention, which is why lead drivers were given preference to avoid losing time. That's not the case with McLaren. Lando and Oscar are quite similar in race pace. Lando is slightly better in qualifying, but that means nothing if he botches the start. China, Hungary, Spa and Monza are prime examples where Lando lost positions at the start. If Lando wants to be treated as the lead driver, he needs to act like one and earn the right to be prioritized. He can't afford to make silly mistakes, lose positions to his teammate, and then need the help from the team to gain the position back. That's not how it works. Now the other question is, when would it be fair for McLaren to enforce team orders to help Lando or whichever driver has a genuine shot at winning the championship? The answer isn't straightforward. If it's for the win, I think the team should let them fight it out on the track. The same goes for podium positions, however, and this might sound unfair, if the gap to Max is really close, they should prioritise the driver in second place in the championship. They may need to sacrifice wins and podiums for the other driver to maximise their chances of winning the title, but honestly right now that doesn't seem like the case. That said, Lando can't be asking for too many favours from the team, as that would diminish the value of his championship. A couple of times is fine, but he needs to consistently finish ahead of Oscar to truly claim the lead driver status for the rest of the season. The team also needs to be sharp and clear with their race strategies, as they've suffered the consequences of poor strategy in the past. The championship is Lando's to lose. The team has provided him with the fastest car. It's now up to him to deliver with that package. Finally, I'd say there are still 8 races remaining, which means over 200 points are still up for grabs, so a lot can happen. The entire dynamic of the season could change in these last 8 races. Lando still has a solid chance at winning the championship, but he can't afford to keep making first lap mistakes. To win the title, he'll have to work hard, because Max certainly won't make it easy, even with the inferior car at the moment. And that's it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, give it a like and don't forget to subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on the Papaya Rules in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.